Hi, my name is Amy Warwick, and I will be teaching the 10th grade English class next year. This class is a year-long language and composition course. During this year, students will study the conventions of standard English in regard to reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills. The class will focus mainly on the mastery of grammar and composition through the completed essay process, while also learning how to analyze different forms of text. This will include both American and British literature, as well as informational texts. Next year, I will be teaching the 11th and 12th grade English class. This class is a year-long course which focuses mainly on reading and analyzing novels, plays, poems, and short stories from a broad range of literary periods and cultural settings. During this class, students also continue their study of proper analyzation of the literary elements of a story, poem, or play, and continue to improve their essay writing. This course also offers students the opportunity to join the AP English group, during which they study throughout the year to apply for and take the National AP English exam. Drama is scheduled as an elective for quarters 1 through 4. It is available to all students in grade 9 through 12. This course will begin as an introduction to drama and theater and will promote appreciation in all aspects of theater. It will include memorization techniques, public speaking, acting, set design, and role and director expectations. The course is open to students with all levels of experience. Our year will consist of preparing for one play in the fall and another play in the spring. This class is available to take by semester. Next year, I will be teaching the 10th grade World History class. In this class, students will study the history of our world as it relates to the first civilizations and empires of the world, early and modern religion, the French Renaissance through the era of European imperialism, and the 20th century crisis that included 2 world wars. In this class, students will be engaging in discussions, essays, and group-based projects that will enlighten them about how the past, in all areas of the world, has impacted who we are today as a global society. By the end of this class, the objective will be for students to have a well-rounded view of world history and be able to reflect upon choices humans have made in the past and consider how those choices have impacted the future.
Hello, I'm Mr. Strong from Oakdale High School. I will be teaching you geometry this year. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the class that you're going to be taking. We all use math every day to make sense of the world around us. The complexities of life require us to observe patterns that lead us to various types of math. Geometry literally means earth measure, or how to measure the world around us. Some of the topics we will learn include special angle relationships resulting from parallel lines, similar and congruent triangles, an introduction to right triangle trigonometry, special right triangles, logic, proofs, surface area, and volumes of three-dimensional solids. Many of you know me, some of you don't. The question I get a lot in math classes is, when am I ever going to use this in life? I'd like to answer personally a couple of those questions for you. So I'm a homeowner, I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy, and now I have a hobby farm. I can tell you for a fact that I've used a lot of the right triangle tools in remodeling houses, whether it's fitting in sinks, in corner spaces. It can be kind of tricky. Also, in my little 10-acre farm, there's been a zillion little projects, whether down at the barn or in my shop, where knowledge of right triangle trigonometry has been very helpful. So I hope you guys look forward to geometry this year. You're going to learn a lot of things that are really practical in life. I'd like to talk to you today a little bit about what you can expect from Algebra 2 this fall. We all use math every day to make sense of the world around us. The complexity of life requires us to observe patterns that leads us to various types of maths. In Algebra 2, we build upon the foundations of Algebra 1 and geometry, adding some new functions to those we already know. Some of what you will learn includes logarithms, their properties, rational functions, square root functions, in addition to a review and deepening understanding of quadratic functions. You will also learn a new application of trigonometry, that of using them to model periodic relationships. For example, I grew up on the coast and I used to backpack on the coast. And so as we know, the tide goes up and down, and we can model that kind of motion using trigonometry. You know, a question I get many times from students is, when am I going to use this abstract math in everyday life? So what comes to mind in Algebra 2 is, as an owner of a small hobby farm, I have animals, cows, chickens, rabbits, that sort of thing. A typical problem that Algebra 2 is going to let you solve is this. Suppose I only have enough money to buy fencing and T-posts that's maybe a mile long, right? So 5,280 feet of fencing. So a good question that could be asked is, well, what's the biggest area I could enclose if I have that amount of fencing? And with the skills you're going to learn in Algebra 2, you will be able to optimize exactly the greatest amount of space to enclose with that fencing. Think about it. Could you really enclose a large area that was 1 foot wide but very long? My cow wouldn't fit between that 1 foot fence, would it? Nope. Join me in Algebra 2 and we'll figure out ways to maximize areas with fixed perimeter. Another great example of what Algebra 2 skills let you learn is, I have rabbits. Well, rabbits, as you may know, they breed very quickly. In fact, we had a rabbit just give birth to 8 baby rabbits. I think they're called kits. And so we can actually create models using Algebra 2 skills to estimate populations of things that grow or decay exponentially to help us figure out life. Well, I look forward to you joining me in Algebra 2 this next year. Have a safe summer. We'll see you in the fall. My name is Mr. Strong. I'm going to talk to you now about Math 101, otherwise known as Math in Society. Math 101 is a dual credit course, which means you will earn both credit at Oakdale High School, and you have the opportunity to also earn college credit at Central Washington University. It's a pretty great deal. It's a great alternative to Running Start. It's really a form of Running Start. Math 101 has been a very popular class over the years. Well, we all use math every day to make sense of the world around us. The complexity of life requires us to observe patterns, and those patterns lead us to various types of math that describe the world around us. Math in Society focuses on common applications of mathematics that you're going to encounter in life. So some of those topics include a better understanding of inflation using the CPI, which is the Consumer Price Index, the power of compound interest, whether it's what you owe, that is to say, like with a car or a house loan or credit card loans, or what you can make with compound interest with investments and savings. You will also learn elements of political math, including how to make preference schedules, how apportionment happens, and the concept of districting. A common question that is asked of me oftentimes by students is, when am I going to use this math in everyday life? Well, right now, in late May of 2022, I can tell you I use from Math 101 my knowledge of inflation and the Consumer Price Index. It's interesting times. If you are watching this in the future, you can look in the Wayback Wind Machine and you can pull up news articles from this period of time, again, late May 2022. Inflation is a real problem in this country. Just today, the stock market was down quite a bit. That's a different topic. But you guys, knowing inflation, knowing about inflation, lets me make educated predictions for the future in terms of what my personal finances might be. It really lets me plan well for the future. When I think of the financial well-being of myself and my family, it lets me make good decisions that are based in fact and in historical context. A big part of that as well is exponential growth and how savings are compounded with continuous compound interest. So I look forward to you joining my Math 101 class in the fall, earning some college credit and learning more about the world around you. I'm here to tell you about Math 153 and Math 154, otherwise known as pre-calculus. This class will be offered in the fall of the 2022-2023 school year. It's a 2-semester class. It begins in the fall and continues into the spring semester of 2023. So as the name implies, pre-calculus is a final examination of mathematics that you need to know prior to engaging in calculus. So let me go ahead and tell you some of the things we're going to look at in this class. In the fall, we're going to review common elements from Algebra 2, including operations with polynomials, rational equations, operations and graphing, logarithms, exponential equations. These are going to be big topics in the fall class. Second semester, most of what we do will be dominated by an understanding of something called the unit circle. Really, the unit circle is another application of trigonometry, but this time with a defined radius of a circle. We're going to use that in a number of ways with trigonometric identities, trigonometric equations, polar coordinates. These are all different ways of looking at the world around us and the patterns that are in the world. Another new type of math that you'll be exposed to is that of vectors. Vectors are a very handy way of expressing different relationships in our world. I think you're going to like them. Well, the exciting thing about pre-calculus is that it is a dual credit class. You will earn credit both here at Oakdale School District and also at Central Washington University. It's a great deal. This will not be a math elective on your transcript, but rather it will be the same as if you had gone to Ellensburg and taken pre-calculus there. So this year, I hope you take Math 153, Math 154. You have the potential of earning 10 college credits by taking this class. You're also going to set yourself up to take calculus next year, should you desire to do that. I'd like to talk to you today about my calculus class that I teach through Central Washington University. It's known as Math 172 in the fall, and then should you continue to go on in the winter semester and through the spring there, it's called Math 173. In first year calculus, which is pretty much the same as an AB calculus course in the AP system, we're going to discuss mathematics, and you're going to learn mathematics on a little bit of a higher level. In our journey through mathematics, we learn different functions and ways to model different situations because we're really looking around the world and trying to find a way to quantify with numbers what we see happening around us. A couple of the big ideas you're going to learn in calculus first semester surround instantaneous rates of change. For example, if you are at a stoplight and the light turns green and you push on your accelerator, you start accelerating. What we will learn how to do is fixing a moment in time in that acceleration curve, we'll be able to find an instantaneous rate of change. This sounds a little abstract, but it's actually pretty handy in a number of ways. Second semester is really going to be dominated by a different idea. It's a big idea in calculus it's the opposite of what we learn how to do the first semester. So we're going to learn how to integrate the second semester. Integration is a very, very important tool. It lets us calculate, for example, things like work. Work is equal to force times distance. But when the distances or the forces are varying, how can we quantify that? Well, calculus lets us do that. Maybe a interesting real life situation that I have used calculus with is considering this kind of situation. So if you're filling some sort of tank or some kind of container with fluid, have you ever noticed that once the liquid is up to, maybe in this example, the conical part, this is kind of a truncated cone right here, a cone with the top cut off. Have you ever noticed that this part starts filling up way faster than the main cylinder does? Well, we can figure out exactly how fast things are changing here with really strange shapes with calculus. Another time I was able to use some concepts from calculus around my small farm was when I was trying to get a tire to seat on a rim. The bead has to be pressed out against the actual rim once the tire is on the rim. And I was able to use some concepts from calculus to figure out that I basically had some turbidity in the air and that I needed to get rid of that turbidity so I can maximize the quantity of air um, inside that tire to press out the sidewalls against the rim. So I was able to make that modification because I had been going through calculus and was familiar with those concepts. So there's some really interesting things that come with calculus. In the words of a former student, the hardest part of calculus isn't the calculus. The calculus itself is common sense. We're going to spend the lion's share of our work in calculus basically working on the details of algebra. So really it's algebra that's the hardest part of calculus. The calculus itself is not as demanding. Well, I hope you have a safe summer. I hope you have a great summer, and I hope to see you in my calculus class in the fall. Have a great day.
Mr. Walker here, the PE teacher of next year. So to describe the courses that will be offered for high school students. So the first course offered will be high school PE. This program will utilize physical movement as a primary educational medium, and students will be provided opportunities to develop and improve physical skills as well as learn the rules, terminology, technique, and safety specific to each particular activity. For the second offering for high school students, it will be weights. In weights, the student will learn how to properly perform lifts and will be prescribed workouts assigned to develop your muscles and be ready for these lifts. The students will also utilize the Fit Farm as a way, and both of these classes will be offered for college credit.
Well, hello, my future 9th grade English students. I want to tell you about what to expect next year in 9th grade English. The theme of the course is coming of age and overcoming adversity. First quarter will start out with short stories such as The Most Dangerous Game, Marigolds, and The Cast of Amontillado, where we'll be looking at a number of literary elements. Our last short story will be The Lady or the Tiger, in which we'll jump into argumentative writing. Other topics of argumentative writing will be, is college worth it? And other controversial issues. In argumentative writing, we'll be learning about logical fallacies that we'll be able to recognize, and also using appeals of logos, pathos, and ethos. And we'll finish off the year with the great Romeo and Juliet, in which we'll be looking at Shakespearean sonnets, iambic pentameter, themes, meter, sonnets, irony, such as verbal, dramatic, and situational, among many others. So, looking forward to seeing you in the fall for 9th grade English. Here's your preview of U.S. history from 1861 to 2000-ish with juniors and seniors. We're going to start out reviewing the Civil War, causes, effects, and move on to industrialization, urbanization of America, imperialism and becoming a world power, the Progressive Movement, World War I, the Roaring Twenties, the Great Depression, New Deal, World War II, the Cold War, the Civil Rights Movement, Vietnam, and much more leading up to around 2000. So join me this fall for U.S. History, juniors and seniors, 1861 to around 2000. See you then.
Welcome to AFNR, and I'm excited to see you new 9th graders in your very first, well, at least for most of you, CASE course. This is called Agriculture, Foods, and Natural Resources. And in this class, we talk a lot about foods and natural resources, and you just happened to catch me testing some water so I can check out the pH of it. And I can't wait to see you involved in all these activities. Welcome to Ag Communications. If you like to talk a lot, or you like to communicate in things that you believe in, such as agriculture, Ag Communications is a class for you. In this class, we are heavily involved in putting on Taste Washington Day, and here's an example. We'll do this, and we will share that with the littles, with all the elementary students, which is a pretty fun way to be an advocate for agriculture. Along with communications, there's several ways to communicate. We will also be making posters and helping advertise everything that we have going on to the school, from homecoming week to plant sales and everything else in between. So we will also be helping make posters on our big printer. So we hope to see you in Ag Communications. Welcome 9th through 12th graders to Animal Science. In this class we learn all about animals in agriculture and domesticated animals. So what we're going to start with is learning about breeds of animals, how to care for them in general, and then we move on to specifics as far as looking at how ligaments and muscles work. And we will actually be dissecting some chicken wings to see those parts, which is super cool. From there, we move on to digestive systems, where you are going to learn more about those. And then as we continue on to nutrition, you'll be able to create be your own expert on a specific animal and create a producer's management guide for someone else to look at. Juniors and seniors, welcome to Ag Business, which is a new course offered at the Big O. In this course, we're going to learn about marketing, personal finance, budgeting, and gain some new leadership skills that will help you in your future endeavors.
The 2022-23 school year, high school band. It's all about performances, experiences, and a lot of fun. We will participate in the high school mass band festival, in the high school honor band festival, large group festivals as those come along, and it's appropriate for us to do that. We'll have pep band performances all winter long. We will maybe take some time out and learn some solos and ensembles so that you have something that you can go perform by yourself even when you're not with your band. We will study themed units. Some of the stuff that we've done, it's been like the history of rock and roll, the Titanic, the age of the big band music, and then Broadway musicals, where we even got to take a trip to Spokane to see a production of Hamilton. We try to find interesting, fun, new things every year as they come along and seem to fit with the larger world, what's going on in the world. We study the history of music. We learn a bit about how it's composed, what the structure is, music theory in general. But we wrap it all up so that it's fun and you're performing and playing a lot of music and doing it together, developing your own skills as a musician, and at the same time creating a camaraderie of those people that you're playing with. And that includes me, and I'm anxious to have you come back next year.
Well, hello there, freshmen, and welcome to high school. We know that sometimes transitioning from junior high to high school can be a challenge, so we're going to help you make that transition a little bit simpler by offering in the fall a freshman seminar class. This class will help you develop skills to be successful in high school, such as team building, personal accountability, and leadership development. In second semester, we'll transition to a computers and agriculture class, and in that class, we're going to delve into the Google Suite programs, from docs to sheets to slides, and even use some forms. We'll be creating projects that will make you more proficient on your Chromebook, and if we have time, we'll even delve into some Onshape design and maybe do some 3D printing to just wrap up the year. Are you interested in engineering or becoming an engineer? Then Agricultural Power and Technology is the class for you. This will be a sophomore level class. That's going to be the first time we've offered it next year at Oakdale. It's going to also be called CASE APT, which is the acronym for that. In this course, you're going to cover a variety of different things. You're going to cover mechanical basics. You're going to cover simple machines. How do they work? Why do they work? You're going to talk about electricity. We're going to use these types of boards to understand how electricity flows and different types of things that impact it. We'll move on. We'll do windmill design and construction, where you'll actually be creating your own windmill and having it generate power and recording how much power it does actually generate. This will also be a precursor class for a class we're going to offer in the fall of 23, which will be called Mechanical Systems in Agriculture, which is completely engineering. In that class, you're going to take it a step further, where you're going to be doing 3D printing. You'll be creating things and printing them on the 3D printer. It will also lead you into robotics, where you will be creating a VEX robotics kit and doing different activities with it. And it will also go into GIS systems and drones. So if you're interested in taking something in the engineering field, this is the class for you.
Well, hello there, juniors and seniors, and welcome to chemistry. Chemistry, by definition, is the study of matter and energy interactions between them. In this class, we are going to focus on molecules. We're going to study the periodic table. We're going to look at chemistry in an agricultural sense and come together to do a lot of hands-on learning and working together to get through and learn more about the chemistry around us. Do you like working in the shop? Then AgMech is the course for you. This is an 11th and 12th grade class. In this class, what we're going to do is we're going to MIG weld, we're going to arc weld, we're going to oxy weld. We'll also have the opportunity to design different things with our awesome plasma table over there and just have a great time doing hands-on learning and being part of a shop class.
Hello, I'm Patty Mills, and I teach Senior Projects at the Oakstale School District. Senior Projects is a reflective course and has multiple components. Seniors will complete a resume packet. They will participate in a job shadow experience. They will develop a portfolio that will contain the year's worth of work they've completed within the course. They will write essays that might concern global issues. They will do a considerable amount of reflective writing in the form of journals and essays that challenge them to think about who has impacted them in a positive way and how they hope to impact those around them as they move forward in their lives. The Senior Projects course is a culminating process that ends in a senior presentation celebration in front of family and friends and a panel of community judges. The process offers supportive, positive personal exploration and preparation as seniors ready themselves to head out of the high school and into the world. It's one of my favorite courses to teach, and I hope to see you there. High school art is offered to grades 9 through 12. It's a broad introduction to the fundamentals of art. The course varies, introducing students to a variety of materials, processes, and concepts surrounding the field of art. The elements of art and the principles of design are at the forefront of each project because they're the language of art. However, imagination is the name of the game. I encourage all students to do their best and to honor their own ideas. Bringing a willingness to or desire to participate in the art process is more important than talent or experience. I hope to see you in the art room. Thank you. A second art course offered is targeted to grades 11 through 12th grade. This course provides an opportunity to explore color and design, realism versus abstraction, typography, and art history. It's a project-based course that is grounded in participation. A willingness to participate in the process of making art while exploring the whys surrounding this field is a necessary state of mind to bring to the classroom. Advanced Placement, or AP, is available for any junior who is interested in the arts and has taken a prior art class in their freshman or sophomore year. Please come and see me if you're interested in this. The course will involve color and design, which explores color theory and how color is its own form of communication. It'll also involve realism versus abstraction, allowing students to explore how art has changed throughout history, the intent behind realistic oil paintings of the 16th century, and the contrasting meaning associated with abstract art. Typography will take students on a journey to the medieval period and illuminated manuscripts, progressing to the evolution of the printing press and arriving at contemporary communication with font designing. Exploring the history of art is the final piece to this art class. It's an exciting look into the cultures and the social dynamics of people past and present. Art documents how we live and what we value. Throughout this study, students will begin to recognize what types of art they appreciate and why. I hope to see you in the art room. Thank you. Annual is a course that teaches layout and design, photography, and journalism skills, while creating a yearbook for the student body and the Oakstale community. The staff works as a team to decide on the theme and organization of the book. These decisions set the tone for the overall design. Students will learn how to create yearbook pages while designing them independently. They will learn about the history of yearbooks and why they are a valuable source of information for schools and communities. Hard work and good behavior are rewarded when layouts are finished. The staff is known to celebrate with a pizza party.